Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm MTG Joe, and today we're going to be finishing up our series on the budget build. So we're building around blue-white Super Friends or blue-white Control. We're now on the non-budget version, so we're going to splash in another color, and we're going to be playing Esper Superheros as it was coined at the last SCG Open. This is the first place list that won. So this was played by Colin Roundtree. So this won the full Invitational. So we're going to give it a shot. So this is kind of formerly known as Esper Hero. So it's a combination of a Planeswalker control deck, which we've been building towards with blue-white. And that's also playing Hero of Precinct One to get value off that. The other alternative, and I'll be posting a video, well, I've already posted the video, but I'll do it as part of the write-up, is Jeskai Super Friends, so red instead. So that one's playing Sarkin, and similar idea, but you're playing all with the Planeswalkers. This one's a little bit more of a grindy one, so I want to try out this deck here instead. So the core of the deck is around getting Hero of Precinct 1 out, which gets you to create tokens whenever you cast multicolor spells. The rest of the deck is more control based. By splashing black to our blue-white list that we've been working on originally, we've been able to add in stuff like hard removal in the form of cast down, an Elderspell, which we can kind of quickly ultimate one of our Teferis. We get the Despark to exile permanents. We get the Thought Erasure to disrupt our opponent's hands. Tyrant Scorn is more removal or to bounce one of our creatures. We still have the core of our Planeswalker suite that we featured in the budget and mid-budget version in terms of Narset, Teferi, and Teferi. Little Teferi, big Teferi. We get the bonus of Kaya's Wrath, which can be a removal spell for creatures, life gain, as well as just pinging our opponent for damage to finish off a Planeswalker. Basilica Bell-Haunt's pretty good suited right now. It can gain us some life, force our opponent to discard, and is a good body. And then on the top end, we're playing one Liliana to complete the Super Friends, and then one Command the Dreadhorde, just as a value spell, and also we can steal our opponents with Teferi if we do it instant speed, if we're playing the kind of the Dreadhorde mirror. The sideboard, we feature some black cards that we've added in. So we get Duress, some more removal and cast down and Elderspell, some more Despark, another board wipe in the form of Kaya's Wrath. If you already have the Cleansing Novas, you can play those, but a 4 mana spell versus 5 mana. His list had Ixalan's Binding. I like Sorin, so I want to play a Sorin in here. 3 Lyras and another Command the Dreadhorde. So I'm going to run it through a couple best of 3s, depending on how long it takes, and then a couple best of 1s so we can see the difference. I'll be playing ranked because this is a ranked deck. Usually with the budget ones I don't. Alrighty, so we'll get started. So for those of you who are tuning in for the first time on the channel, I'm MTG Joe. We play everything from budget decks up to tier 1. This happens to be one of the tier 1 lists. I usually like to do build series where we can kind of take a deck from beginning to end and explain the steps from a budget to non-budget version. We also play some wacky decks and everything like that. If you're enjoying the content on the channel and you want to show your support, subscribing is a free and easy way to do so. It goes a long way to helping out the channel. So enough pandering. Let's get started. Break up their hand to Teferi. We could keep that. We hopefully want to draw into something a little bit better. So with this here, I'm going to finish up this video and then hopefully have the write-up by the weekend of June 14th. So we'll lead off like that. We can play Isolated next turn. Okay, so with the Elf, that gives us something we can bounce as well. Narset's a nice draw there, so we'll see what our opponent's on. Okay, so opponent is stealing stuff. So we'll get rid of the Nisa. I don't want any more lands, so we'll bottom or surveil that. I don't like that stained glass as much as some of the other ones. The Saheeli one's pretty sweet. Okay, so they have a Teferi.
This isn't a fight you can win.
Their Teferi doesn't really do much at this point. So we'll play our own Teferi and bounce their Llanowar Elf. I think this one's pretty good. Okay, so we draw a land. Just play this out. Play our Teferi. This does take him off some mana. Slows him down a bit. So we don't have any pressure right now, which is a little bit of an issue. Obviously drawing into big Teferi would be good. Okay, so they have Jade Light here. Finale of Devastation. This might be mid-range. What are they finaleing for is the question. Probably just gonna Narset here. Get that value. Because then if we draw a hero, I'd like to Teferi with the hero to at least get a token off it. They can steal our hero. They do have a bounce with Teferi, so they can always bounce their own Jade Light.
Trust me, I have a plan. Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
So we'll just play out Narset.
If you wish to see hone your prowess.
Not the best card. They can choose to attack in Narset, or they can take Teferi. We'll see what they value more. Okay, so they go after Narset.
I won't forget our time together.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
So they decide to bounce their own. Finale of Revelation. Is this instant speed? No. So we can Thought Erasure on their draw key up step and then take the finale. So I'm just going to throw down a Hallowed Fountain here. And pass the turn, putting a stop on their upkeep. Oh, I forgot about their Teferi. That was a misplay on our part. So we ended up screwing up there. Teferis check each other.
It's only a matter of time. I've got time.
So they can finale for 2 here. So let's lead off with the Thought Erasure. See if we can force them to use their finale. This does give us the best view to see what they have. So they have 2 Nisas. Still have the Entrancing Melody, so Hero might not be the best. Because we're going to want a Thought Erasure again here to get rid. So let's just get rid of that. Get rid of Nisa. Command the Dreadhorde actually wouldn't be too bad here if we can draw it. Here I'm going to fake like we have a removal spell. I'm going to bounce the Jade Light Ranger. With Teferi, they will get kind of the value off it, but draws us a little bit deeper. Okay, so they got Krasis. So this is kind of like a ramp deck that we've seen before.
I'll protect you.
Okay, so Bell-Haunt's pretty good for us. Just do this and bounce their Krasis.
I'll show
We're pretty dead at this point. They're going to Entrancing Melody our Bell-Haunt. So we're probably just going to concede this one.
I've got it.
So they'll attack into Teferi. We'll see if they want to keep the Llanowar Elf for the Krasis. Which they do. So Command the Dreadhorde would be pretty nice. We can get like a Nisa. They're going to have to go to discards. Bell-Haunt buffers our life total a bit. Okay, so we got Big Teferi 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can do Hero, play Teferi, tuck the Krasis.
I know my responsibility. Time is much
Just
more
buy us some time. They can't downtick their one yet, and I'll probably just hold the land in hand at this point. So they have the mass manipulation, which is terrible for us. So we're just gonna concede that one. So against this deck, I don't like that this version of the deck doesn't have Dovin's Veto. Prefer that in the matchup. Elderspell's relevant. Despark's relevant. Probably like the Kaya's Wrath. Hero's not bad if it can go unchecked. Might want Duress. Tyrant Scorn's okay. Do we want the Dreadhordes? Maybe not. So the Bell-Haunts can get us some life. They could block on the ground. Elderspell. Probably don't need that many Elderspell. This gets rid of all their creatures. We can probably get rid of a Cast Down. Kaya's Wrath's kind of a catch-up, but we can probably do without that. I like just throwing in a bunch of cards and then going from there. This will catch it. Maybe shave. No, I think on the draw we have the heroes. Maybe shave down the top end into Teferi. Top, cut down a baby Teferi. And maybe one Bell-Haunt. Can go like that. I think we're okay there. Maybe go Command instead of the Liliana. Probably go like that. Playing around with it, we'll see what works best for it. I haven't played this deck that much, so kind of a learning. So this hand does nothing. This hand also does nothing. If we don't draw land, probably pack it up. They got an elf on one, so we're gonna want. Okay, so just from a demo perspective, I want to get as many games in as possible to kind of show how the deck plays out. If we're just mana screwed, it's not really going to do much from a demo perspective. So I think one thing I'd want to maybe change is add in some Dovin's Veto. If we're seeing a lot more of this ramp deck, being able to cut off the mass manipulations earlier, probably good. They do play Tamiyo as well usually, so they can buy back what we counter or what they've used. Ashiok is something else to consider. I'll keep this hand. We're likely to draw into a land. We play 26. And we have cast down for an early threat. The rest of the hand's gas. Come on, opponent. Opponent shows planes. Could be the white weenie list. This cast down in hand to be good. Legion's Landing. Play out the hero first. If we can get this going, like a land next turn would be really good. Teferi bounce whatever they play, especially the token. It's a pretty good tempo play. Really need that land next turn. This card's surprisingly good. We're gonna kill it. Or not. Or the opponent has that. You're naming Law Rune. Okay, Tyrant, Scorn. I'm just gonna do this now. Part of the reason is they can tap. We might have waited if they dropped the Benelish Marshal. They could technically attack through. No attacks. This can tap down our hero, which on this board is actually a pretty good blocker. Okay, Sky March Aspirant, so we're not punished, thankfully. Teferi would be nice here. Another Tyrant Scorn. Here we'll just pass the turn. Regardless, they're going to be able to flip. That's fine. They got the Adanto. So we're just going to kill the Law Rune here. These having 2 power, or 2 toughness, versus this having 1 toughness is relevant with our tokens. So they pretty much have to like suicide their board in to be able to take advantage of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they're 1 away from turning on Snubhorn Sentry, but we have a clean answer and cast down. Jeez. Well, we're drawing all our Tyrant Scorns, which thankfully are keeping us in this game until we could draw the next land. Opponent's kind of stuck on the ground. Yeah, that's fine. They get flying, which is relevant. I'm going to get them to attack in first. And then we're going to kill the Benelish Marshal. So we'll throw something in front of Vanguard. We'll block the token. And then soak up some damage from Snubhorn. So get to ambush at least. They will get to create like a stream of tokens now. If we could draw some lands, we're in a really good spot, but until then, we're kind of stuck. Thought Erasure. Probably just going to go with the cast down plan. Can cast down. Maybe Thought Erasure was right because we could have surveilled. here, I'm just going to cast down the flyer. We can take care of the ground. It's the air that's the issue. And I'm just going to block like this. Either way, we're taking 3 damage. Like this, they're forced to pay 4 life. So they have the history. This game is quite annoying that we haven't drawn finally. So here I'm gonna Oathakaya probably. It makes this Teferi a little bit better. And I'm probably just gonna go Snowborn Sentry. And then just pass the turn. No attacks here. They will get a second token, so I'm probably going to bounce one of the tokens with Teferi. Bell-Haunt would actually be pretty good as well. We need either another white source or another black source, so they come after me. Same idea. Gonna make them pay to keep this Vanguard alive. The hero's more valuable to create tokens. Second Vanguard. Okay, so here I'm gonna just bounce one of the tokens.
Let's slow this down.
It's a clean answer. Next turn we have Bell-Haunt. Liliana's actually pretty good. No attacks. So they're actually at a lower life total than us and we haven't attacked them. Oathakaya can start pressuring them as well. So we'll see how they attack. If they go multiples into Teferi, that's fine. I'm going to let it die. We've hit most of our removal actually in the main board. Another baby Teferi wouldn't be bad. Yeah, so they're going in the air there. I'll throw in a block there just to keep our life total high. We actually gain life from this attack because of Oathakaya. Opponent's thinking about it. So we'll throw a block in there. They're a little scared with their vanguards now. Surprised they still wouldn't just attack in. It forces through damage. Like, you're not really going to block with these guys unless they want to make tokens to gain the life. Odd they would choose. Like, in the theory, we can be playing board wipes. Ah, Venerated Loxodon. That makes sense. So here we're just going to Bell-Haunt. Makes us a token, gains us some life, and then hopefully gets us closer to this Liliana turn. Also makes it so their vanguards can attack. Pretty far behind. This Adonto is also a pretty good check to our Liliana. Okay, so they're attacking with everything. So we block here. Block here. Block here. Take 10. Problem is, even if we draw land, I think we're dead regardless. This gets them to sack 2 creatures. If we make a token, doesn't do much on its own. Yeah, they got us on this one. Alright, so for the weenie matchup, Lyra's pretty good as a top end. Sorin's nice. Get rid of Liliana, get rid of Command. Hero worked pretty well. We can get rid of Elderspell. Can probably get rid of Despark. We'll see what else we bring it in. Probably like the couple Kaya's Wrath. I don't think Narset's going to be that useful in this match. Oh, no, not the Despark. Bring in another Kaya's Wrath. And probably cut down 2 Teferis. Bring in a cast down. Yeah, Liliana's probably better than Teferi in this matchup. I don't think their curve goes that much higher, so we can play it like this. At least Liliana makes tokens. Teferi doesn't do much unless we have command of the board. We'll play first. Gonna keep this hand. We got early removal. We have our land drops. Can't complain more about that. They have a ton of 1-drops in their deck, so it's very hard to dodge like a turn 1 play. But we hope for the best. Drawing more land is not where we want it to be. Legion's Landing. It's fine. That's not really a target we want for Kaya's Wrath. Not a land. Not a land. Maybe Teferi. Ooh, Kaya's Wrath's good. So here we're just going to get him to overcommit to the board. We can take a couple hits here. And then see how it goes. So they have history, so we'll do it the following turn once they get the second token out. Actually, might just take them off one so they don't flip the Legion's Landing next turn. Because that's how they kind of get us for value, and then they can sack the bodyguard there. So they hit us. For 3. Want him to play one more creature out, ideally this turn. Venerated Loxodon would be something nice to get. Okay, so they play a second landing. Okay, so they don't commit more. Wakaya's Wrath nonetheless. Been drawing a lot of lands. Law Rune Enforcer's fine. They might have something like Unbreakable Formation, but they would have used it last turn, I would imagine. They might just have lands. So here, make sure we can still... actually, Bell-Haunt takes care of that. That lets them discard their card. Okay, so it's just more lands. So we'll pass the turn. Yeah. So opponent concedes that one. It's pretty good. I think we run it back. The availability of sweepers post board really helps this matchup. They're inclined to just dump their hand and then go from there. So it's a way for us to kind of control the board. See what our opponent decides. They might bring in now the Unbreakable Formations, having seen the sweepers. We haven't seen white out of them, so we don't have to worry about like Dovin's Veto. Which I think you should probably be splashing the white. There's not much harm in doing so. And just the availability of Veto seems really good, or even Spell Pierce. Because if you're in any way able to counter, like if they counter that board wipe, we're instantly dead. Opponent being on the play also helps this game. We need lands. I'm going to keep this hand because any land and we get the scry. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll lead off on Hero, and then we have Tyrant, Scorn. So they could poke us for 1. Hero and Takai's Wrath's also somewhat of a relevant play. Okay, second landing. So they will be able to flip. Still think it's right to just play out Hero and get that started. This hand would be much better on the play. We would have been able to have this out, kill something so they didn't flip. So opponent does have to run something in to die unless they have Benelish. Okay, they don't. So we'll see if they want to flip the landing. I will happily take this out. So they'll get 2 points of damage in. They get the flip. So here I'm going to Kaya's Wrath, so next turn I can double removal spell. So I'm not going to attack in at this point. We want to establish board control. Next turn we can Tyrant, Scorn the Knight, and then cast down. Probably hang on to the cast down. Yeah, that's something we need to get rid of. Ooh, and they go for the Loxodon. I think we just do this turn. Bounce this token. See if we... Our life's still at 20, so we're okay. And then we don't have to take the 2 damage off the land. No attacks here. Like, they're gonna gain a lot of life. Gideon is a card we don't want to see. So we can Teferi tuck it the following turn. We'll see if they attack into Teferi.
Share in my light.
What's giving this the pump? So here, we're gonna kill these 2.
This might be a bad idea.
It gains indestructible. Yeah. That's fine. We can Teferi tuck it next turn. Can hopefully catch these as either 2/2s still. Oh, this is a knight. That's why I got the pump last turn. So we're just going to... Gonna use the... Oh no, we have to use the Tyrant Scorn. I want to kind of disguise that. But the cast down will work on Venerated. Tyrant Scorn will work on Martial. I might take the attack in and then have the tokens to attack back on Gideon. Or actually, we're going to tuck it next turn, so it's fine. Just block there. Second Othakaya is pretty nice. So the problem with tucking this turn is we can plus Teferi. If we tuck Gideon, they can just kill it with one of these, but that might give us the best chance. Or we can just keep trying to dig. No, but they're going to be able to exile otherwise. So we'll just do this.
Not so fast.
No attacks here. This does giving us a bit of life from the Othakaya. The fact that they flip their Adonto is good for them. Benelish. Let's see if they respect their Teferis. They do. No blocks.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
Okay, so second hero is actually pretty good for us. So let's return one of these.
Here we
We'll play out a hero. Get some tokens. Keep the new one, and then kill Benelish. We eventually need to get them dead, so we'll start attacking in. Then we got Bell-Haunt next turn as well. Teferi can probably bounce one of these. Keep drawing us some cards. Okay, so they got the Dauntless this turn, so they're not making something with Adonto. Okay, they go Venerated. Probably just bounce this. Let's do you. Just keep a white open just in case. Make some more tokens. So we're bouncing the tokens so they don't get the value off it again.
Sorry I'm late.
And then this just gets us card draw value.
I've got it.
No attacks here. We could gum up the board pretty well. The Gideon's going to be a problem eventually, but hopefully kind of forces them not to attack in. So we can go back at the Gideon.
I am here to aid in the assault.
As long as we can keep making a stream of tokens, it's pretty good. If they try to attack into our planeswalkers, we gain some life. Sorin would be good here.
I believe in you, friend.
Okay, so they're going to use the little one. Teferi's great there.
Let's try this.
So I'm just going to tuck Gideon again. Mind you, we do have enough to block for a turn, so I'm going to plus Teferi this turn first.
I'm known for my excellent timing. Let's skip to the good part.
Okay, so we draw another land. Not the best. No attacks here. Pretend like we have Settle or something, maybe. We have Bell-Haunt next turn as well. Hey Shiroi, no problem. I'm glad you joined the stream. I'm actually wrapping up right now. Just wanted to get a quick one in to finish this build series. So I'm going to call it quits here. These games went a little bit longer than I thought. So I'll do the full write-up on Reddit. You can find it later this weekend. Thanks for those who tuned in live. And have a great weekend. Happy FNM if you're heading over tomorrow. Thanks for watching.